The breeze blows Pinellia, Zhao Liying's significance, disposition, desolate life, and the setting of the champion. The Breeze Blows Pinellia is an exceptionally watched show series in the last part of this current year. This show is adjusted from Anne's unique work not to kick the bucket. Considering the way that the current year's two unique shows adjusted by Anne have experienced a verbal exchange emergency, meeting season, tribute to happiness 3, The Breeze Blows the transmission of Pinellia toward the year's end can't resist the urge to make individuals question whether it will correct Anne's name or proceed to upset. Taking a gander at it now, obviously the nature of the series has endured the test. As far as subject, Anne clearly has a certain fixation with the historical backdrop of China's monetary improvement during the 1990s. Not just incredible waterways and meeting seasons have related pens and inks, yet Wind Blows Pinellia, the first title of the play Savage Development, is straightforwardly taken from the expressions of Feng Lun, the theoretician among Chinese confidential business visionaries. According to the viewpoint of creation, clearly the imaginative group alluded to past episodes, particularly Dajing Dahi, regarding photography, variety, outlining techniques, and so on. There are hints of reference. Likewise, some abilities were utilized, for example, utilizing famous tunes of various periods to make a feeling of time, and continually composing year numbers has a desire to make a order. However, one comment, this series isn't without issues. The first is the slimness of character creation. Leaving to the side the hero Su Bangsha on this point, we should discuss it exhaustively beneath. The most significant are the other Steel F4, Wu Jianch, Qiu Bizheng, Feng Yu, Guo Kiden. These supporting jobs can be portrayed as upright useful supporting jobs. From the start as far as possible, they have kept a companion and foe relationship with Su Bangsha. Their capability resembles the 9981 challenges on the excursion of Tang Priest Zishan to get familiar with the sacred texts. Each time it is by all accounts the mount of some god, it comes out again with an alternate skin. The missteps made toward the starting will in any case be made eventually any development. As a series, this is really risky, however the fundamental motivation behind this series itself isn't overhaul in battle beasts, so the foe, or the degree of trouble isn't the specialized content of the series. Where? The main one is the person plan of the hero Su Bangsha, and the second is the consummation of the story. As the agent of the long-eminent 85 Blossoms, Zhao Liying's ongoing accomplishments can be portrayed as remarkable. Entering the positions of dramatizations, he was at the center of attention in 85 Blossoms. Also, what intrigues me the most is her inexorably solid aim to forlorn life personality en route. Indeed, even the actual series proceeds with this personality, albeit the plot actually orchestrates a cheerful finishing for her. As an entertainer, he ought to have the option to give various characters various lives, which is the entertainer's liability. And yet, an entertainer shouldn't dismiss the reward of his past jobs, whether dynamic or latent. Since you assume such a large number of parts, you should have a certain corona. This radiance can be the reason for the chief and others to pick you to assume the part, and it might likewise be the foundation board for the crowd to appreciate and submerge themselves in the job. So does Zhao Liying have this sort of radiance or foundation board? Obviously there is. At the point when Yu Zhang picked Zhao Liying to star in Legend of Lu Xun, he once said that she has the endeavoring disposition of today you love me and overlook me, tomorrow I will make you unfit to move high. What's more, a large number of the jobs she has played over the course of the years have for sure conveyed this disposition of battling against destiny, against segregation and bias. This human plan has even been brought to reality. So it is easy to comprehend that Zhao Lei, played by Li Guangji, will get the commitment of I will be answerable for you subsequent to affirming the relationship with Su Bangsha. Albeit this makes individuals snicker, it appears to additionally affirm that this is a major champion series. Screenwriter Melody Fangjin said a couple of years prior, very irritated and vulnerably, he examined with a specific notable entertainer about showing up in a series, however he didn't anticipate that the other party should answer, is it a main entertainer? If not, there is compelling reason need to discuss it. When Song Fangjin talked about this on the show, he said with a confused look on his face, I still don't know what it means to be a big female lead. Film and television researcher Li Xingwen hit the nail on the head when he said, a big female lead is one in which all men love me and all men come to my aid. One thing is for sure, the drama The Wind Blows Half Summer does have a very distinct big female lead quality, but it is not a big female lead drama in the usual sense. The main reason for this is half the scripts and half the orphan quality of Zhao Liying. Zhao Liying did not start out as a lonely girl, but there was a process by which the sorrow became apparent in her. It was probably the bone of 1,000 flowers that was the beginning, and the wind and the wave was a small peak. After that, if you know whether you should be fat and thin was her least orphan drama, but her flash marriage and flash divorce further aggravated this orphan temperament. But her flash marriages and flash divorces further exacerbated this orphaned quality. When it came to The Wind Blows Half-Summer, it was clear that the creative team and the financiers partly recognized this temperament, otherwise they would not have chosen Zhao Liying to play the role. Of course, I have to make it clear that this orphaned quality is my personal summary. To many people, it may be closer to the so-called big girl persona, or feminism. But why orphaned? Why is this seemingly unfriendly concept used to sum up an actor's temperament? In a variety show, Zhao Liying's ex-husband Fang Xiaofeng, they were not divorced at the time, once said that he had asked Zhao if you really liked me or if you just wanted to find someone to fall in love with and get married. Feng's words were a bit cautiously helpless and humble, while Xiao's reply was very overbearing. Of course, her subsequent handling of the marriage issue highlights the domineering side of the story. The term orphan refers to a person who exudes an aura of not being near the opposite sex and not needing it, both internally and externally. Zhao Liying's flash marriage and divorce will naturally make people feel that she is decisive, fast and full of valiant heroine temperament. But orphaned goes a step further. I don't depend on men, and I don't need them. In The Wind Blows Half-Summer, Su Hansha, although she is mostly alone in her burdens, has the steel triangle of Tong Primus and Chen universe, so it cannot be said that she does not need the help of a man, and Zhao Bei is her partner and spiritual companion. So in terms of plot and characterization, Su Hansha is not an orphan, but rather the actress herself, Zhao Liying, has strongly incorporated this temperament into the drama. In terms of the script, the writers have made some adaptations to shirt the current society, such as strengthening the feminism of Su Hansha, Wildcat and Commissioner Gao, the main female characters. The scene in which Wildcat leaves the country is reminiscent of the children of the Qiao family. The origin of the orphan vibe is to be found in the previous episodes. As we have already said, knowing is the least orphaned of Zhao Liying's dramas. And it is precisely this drama that is the focus of our understanding. I also wrote a review of Knowing back in the day. In terms of story, Zhi seems to be a story of a grassroots woman's comeback, although it may be a bit controversial whether the concubine's daughter of an official family is considered grassroots. But Mingland has reached the top of what a woman can achieve in that social structure, and in terms of the ending, it can be said to be quite successful. Even her off-screen marriage with Fang Xiaofeng seems to confirm the appeal of the series itself in another way. But perhaps because of this, Zhao Liying has a certain washed up after the peak or dull after the splendor feeling, and so Zhao is now in a state where she is going straight for the career woman's big heroine persona, both in the drama and in reality. This is very interesting and very memorable. Because whether you look at 85 Flowers or the mainstream consciousness of the entertainment industry as a whole, the career woman and big heroine persona has been in demand for some time, but no actress would ever voluntarily associate herself with the family. Instead, they maintain an ambiguous relationship that seems distant and close. Another proof of this is that family happiness is still used by most ordinary viewers and fans as another sign of the main character's career success, even though we have accepted the dichotomy between career and family for some years now. From this perspective, it seems that Zhao Liying is practicing or operating a new persona or lifestyle, much like the relationship between Su Hansha and Zhao Bei in the play. Although the two still maintain their relative independence in their careers, Su Hansha maintains absolute influence and dominance over Zhao Bei in terms of spirit and lifestyle, while Zhao Bei also seems to be comfortable with this status quo. Of course, this may be a vision of the writer-director, but it will take longer to see if it can become an orientation. On the other hand, The Wind Blows Half-Summer is not a drama that reacts to reform or business battles in the traditional sense, because the last few episodes of the play have a concentrated sense of settling old scores or reassessment. The question of the primitive accumulation of capital and the legal gray areas of business brought about by the barbaric growth of the 90s has long been a topic that it is not new. But to settle the score in the last few episodes, as in The Wind Blows Half-Summer, even at the cost of an entire estate or even the freedom of one's family, is something else. In this respect, it is a bit of a departure from the neoconservative stance of the original author, Anne, and even a change from the traditional success story of entrepreneurs to a loser narrative. This is even more thought-provoking. At the end of the episode, Su Hansha and Tong Primrose stand in the snow, revealing the meaning of "the land is so wide and clean," which can be interpreted in two ways. One is that the scriptwriter seems to have a somewhat less positive view of the future of the private sector. The second is that the scriptwriter seems to be reminding a society that the real spiritual wealth it can accumulate should be wide, but at the same time fragile, and will melt away when the next spring starts, and that newcomers will go on and on, not forgetting what happened before, but learning to let go of baggage at the right time. Comment to lighten the load of memories. Either way, we still have to go back to the reality of the present to find answers, because all questions of ideals and concepts are ultimately a matter of practice, and this is the only conclusive answer given to us by the wild growth of the 90s.